Hello again, fellow friends, and welcome back to this, something I've never done before. A video of a tier list. Because someone reminded me of a tweet I made back in 2019 saying that I would make a video where I rate all of the Mortal Kombat characters in terms of how much of a I give about them. Totally forgot that I tweeted that, and then I thought, well, let's do this then. So, here we are. As you can see, I've created 4 categories. A category for Mortal Kombat characters that I love, a category for Mortal Kombat characters that I like, a category for Mortal Kombat characters I don't care about, which is probably going to be very filled, that particular category. And then there's Get in the Bin, which is characters I actually hate. I think, I don't want to see that person come back. Okay, right. I had a quick scan, and it doesn't look like that's all the characters, but it after a quick scan, it does seem like there's all of them. I can't think of any that are missing. So if there are, I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. So first up, Alien. Love them because when they first announced that Alien was going to be DLC in MKX, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when they announced Predator, and then to announce Alien as well, I was like, and I loved using Alien. I mained Alien for a little bit. Tarkatan Alien, obviously, because Chop Chop, I was like, that's like my boy Baraka. So yeah, Tarkatan Alien, awesome. Ashra, don't care about him. Never really used her in, what was it, Deadly Alliance? To me, she was just the woman in the weird wedding dress outfit. Never cared. Okay, Baraka. Love him, because he's awesome. He's so savage. He's got the blades for his arms, and he does chop chop, you know, the chop chop. When I first played Mortal Kombat 2, he was the character that stood out to me. I mean, when I played Mortal Kombat 1, Sub-Zero and Scorpion caught my eye, and I had to make a decision, which one? Sub-Zero. With Mortal Kombat 2, you know, they brought in things, people like Melina, Katana, Kung Lao, all that stuff, and they were cool, but I was like, who's this guy? Who's this guy with the messed up teeth? And the blade arms, and he does this, and blood goes everywhere. I like that guy. I like the cut of his jib. And then of course, yeah, they brought him back in MK11, and I currently main him, because Sub-Zero got a bit boring to play as, honestly, and Baraka is awesome. Blaze! I like him, but I don't love him. According to Ed Boon, Blaze is the most powerful character in the Mortal Kombat universe, apparently. Because he is the only one that had the power to destroy the universe, or something like that. But I remember Blaze, obviously in the background of the Pit 2 in Mortal Kombat 2. But wasn't he also in... Oh, I might be thinking of Inferno from Soul Calibur. Classic fiery characters. Yeah, Blaze. I didn't play Armageddon, but he's pretty cool. He's a fiery monster dude. And you know me, when it comes to Mortal Kombat, I'm a fan of the monsters and magic side of it. I'm not so much a fan of the boring humans with technology side of it. Special Forces. Okay, Bo Rai Cho. This is tough. I don't know where he's going. Bo Rai Cho. I hated him in Deadly Alliance or Deception, whichever one he was in. I was like, oh, he farts and he pukes. Oh, funny, yeah, funny. Never cared about him. But he's kind of badass in MKX. Like, you know, some of the things he says with the dialogue. His speed is... You just wouldn't think he'd be able to move like that looking at him. He's kind of annoying to fight against. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I can put him in the like them category. Definitely not going to put him in the love them category. And I don't think he deserves to be in the get in the bin category, but maybe he does. I think we'd be okay without seeing Bo Rai Cho come back to the game. But I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him. I guess we'll say don't care about him then. That's tough. I wasn't expecting that. That is tough. Cassie Cage, nice and simple. Get in the bin. Didn't like her in MKX. Both fighting against her, fighting as her, and her in the story. And same with MK11. Don't like Cassie Cage. I think I would dislike her less if she wasn't in 2 games that also had both her parents. Because she's basically, you take Sonya, take Johnny, smush them together, that's Cassie. So why do we still have Sonya and Johnny in the game? Twice in a row. All 3 of them. Her and the people she's made of, twice in a row. when there's people like Smoke, who's like, I ain't been in a game for 11 years, boys. Come on, come on. So, yeah, Cassie Cage, get in the bin. Cetrion, like her. Not going to say love her, but I like her. I like Cetrion. It's a cool idea. You could play as an Elder God. It is kind of weird that they make Elder Gods just on the level of mortals, which is kind of weird, but it's a video game, you know, it's still fun. I wish she had more to do in the story, rather than just be like, take my power, mother, or whatever she did at the end of the story. And then she did it again in the Aftermath story. I was like, what are they doing with her in the story? But I like her, she's a good character. Chameleon. Love him. Gotta love a bit of Chameleon. Never played that version of him, because I never played Armageddon, but Chameleon in Mortal Kombat Trilogy, mate. When I found out about that, I was like, because in case you didn't know, I'm a bit of a fan of the classic ninjas. Bit of a fan. And of course, in Mortal Kombat Trilogy, they were all there. You had Sub-Zero, classic Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Ermac, Reptile, Smoke, Rain, Noob Saibot. But if you go into the menu and you the options menu and you hold these buttons and do that, the screen shakes, and then you go back to the character select and you select one of those ninjas while holding the fucking right button or whatever it was, boom! You can play as a guy who's all of the male ninjas, and I was like, that's awesome! I love it. So yeah, Chameleon, love him. Cyber Sub-Zero. Let me just have a quick look to see if actual Sub-Zero is here. He is. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Get in the bin, because I love Sub-Zero. But every time I've played as a Cyber Sub-Zero, I've gone, I don't like this. I don't think it's bad. I just don't like it. It's a version of Sub-Zero I don't like. So get in the bin. Cyrax, love him. When Mortal Kombat 3 first came out, we didn't have this thing called the internet. So of course, me and my friends played Mortal Kombat 1, played Mortal Kombat 2, then Mortal Kombat 3 comes along. What the? There's no Scorpion. I was like, where's Poochie? There wasn't no Scorpion. But there is a yellow robot ninja type thing that shoots a green net and brings his opponent closer to him, which is functionally identical to the spear the Scorpion used to throw. So me and my mates thought, this was before we finished the game and learned the story and all that stuff, we thought that Cyrax was Scorpion who'd been turned into a robot, and we were like, okay. And then of course found out that wasn't the case, and I just like the robot ninjas, except for Cyber Sub-Zero, because he is just bad Sub-Zero. But yeah, Cyrax, I kind of mained him for a little bit in MKX, not gonna lie, I used him a lot. I think he ended up being my third most used behind Goro and Sub-Zero. And I did not expect that, because in Mortal Kombat Trilogy, he was my least favourite of the three. Cyber Smoke was my favourite, and Sector was cool with his teleport and his missiles, and Cyrax was, he could throw bombs and shit. I don't care about that guy. But then, I was playing MKX, and I came up against someone who was playing as Cyrax, and they did some cool swaggy combo, and I was like, I'll give it a go. I did try Sector and Smoke as Tribal, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, because those are my favourite of the robot ninjas. Didn't really care for him too much, but I had hella fun with Cyrax in MKX. So I was like, I love Cyrax. Love me some Cyrax. Dagon? Yes, Dagon, of course, because it's in alphabetical order. Again, from Mortal Kombat Armageddon, never played it. Don't care about him. You know, Taven and Dagon. Don't care. Maybe if they bring him back in Mortal Kombat 12 and look, this has been my logic all along. If they can bring Bo Rai Cho back, a character I straight up just didn't like, if they can bring him back and make him kind of badass and cool, which they did, in my opinion, they can do it to anyone. No joke, before MK11 came out, and there was all people joking about Su Hao for MK11, I legit wanted to see Su Hao in MK11, and of course we did in Aaron Black's intro, but I wanted to see him playable. Why? Because if they could bring Bo Rai Cho back and make him badass, how cool would it have been if they brought Su Hao back and made him actually awesome, and then everyone would have been like, oh, he's not lame anymore. But no, they didn't. They just killed him off. So they missed a trick on that one. But yes, don't know how I'm talking about Su Hao, because Dagon. Don't care about him. Dairu. Don't care about him. Darius. Don't care about him. He's sensing a theme here. There's going to be some 3D era characters that I really just don't care about. Dramin. Get in the bin. I've always hated Dramin's design. I mean, even though he is like a monster, and I'm a fan of the Monsters and Magic, I just don't like it. In fact, I would go as far as to say I dislike it. Don't like it. Devora, get in the bin. Wait. Yeah, get in the bin. Not because she goes around killing characters in the story. I couldn't care less about that. But because I just hate fighting her. Hated fighting her in MKX. Hate fighting her in MK11. She's a really cool design and a really cool concept. I love that. I love the fact that it's like a hive that reanimated a dead human and now it's like a living being sort of thing. I love the concept and the execution. It looks great. I hate fighting Devourer though. Hate it. And a lot of people hate Devourer anyway for killing people. They're like, oh, she killed Scorpion. Yeah, but A, there's another Scorpion. B, death means nothing in Mortal Kombat. And C, everything was undone at the end of the story. So, doesn't matter that she killed Scorpion, does it? It's like when Sonya died, and I was like, but there's another one. Why are people getting upset at this? It was kind of sad, though. It was kind of sad when Johnny found out that Sonya had died. That was actually pretty sad. Aaron Black. Like him. I like him. I think he's got a cool... I preferred his voice in MKX. Because I'm a fan of Troy Baker. Who isn't? And I liked his voice in MKX, but in MK11 he went too cowboy. They took away his edgy eyeshadow, which I thought looked pretty cool. And now he's just like, hey, I'm just a regular guy, but I'm really leaning into the cowboy aspect. I liked him in MKX because he was an Outworlder with some cowboy influences, shall we say. And then in MK11 they were just like, he's a cowboy, full stop. Okay. Okay then. He's still cool, but I like him less. But I do like him overall, as a character. He's good, even if Back 2 is all they do with him online. What's over here, what's over there? So, Ferrator, like him. I think, again, it's a really good concept. I can't think... I'm sure maybe it exists, but I can't think of a character in a fighting game that was two characters... Well, it sounds like I'm going to be describing Noob Saibot. I was going to say two characters where one uses another one as an attack. That sounds like Noob Saibot. But you know what I mean. Where these are, like... It's not just like a dude in his shadow. This is actually like two completely different characters with a symbiotic relationship. I'm curious about their culture. Where did they come from? What's the life cycle like? In Ferrator's ending in MKX, I think Tor died and Farah grew up to be a brute. So I thought in MK11, Farah was going to be the brute and there'd be a new version of Farah on her. But no, they went, nah, scrap it. Freddy Krueger. Don't care about Freddy Krueger. Just don't. Frost. Get in the bin, and here's why. She's not bad as a concept, but of course everyone's like, oh, she's just female Sub-Zero. And she's not. I mean, if you play MK11, she plays very differently to Sub-Zero, but she's like unnecessary story for Sub-Zero, because I think Sub-Zero's already got enough story with the Cyber Lin Kuei and Scorpion and all of this business. We don't need some young upstart who thinks that she should be running the Lin Kuei. Nah, get out of here. Get in the bin. You've proven time and time again that you're just an arrogant, petulant child. Your demeanor is that of a pouty child. And you need to get in the bin. Fujin, like him. He's cool. I don't love him. Let's not go crazy. Don't love him. But I thought he was pretty cool when they introduced him. I was going to say in MK4, but, you know, I think canonically his first entrance was Mythology Sub-Zero, which I think came out before MK4. I'm not sure. Never played it, and probably never will. But yeah, I thought he was cool in MK4, and he's awesome now that they've brought him back. I don't use him. And I can't stand that Warping Needle move he does. But he is the flashiest and swaggiest character in MK11. So there's that. I do like Fujin. Gearus, get in the bin. For reasons that I explained in my Aftermath Awards reaction video. Because I just feel like we should have had Tremor instead. I don't think Chronica needed a minion when she's got like... Everyone she talks to basically becomes one of her minions. So I don't know. I just felt like he was a waste. Goro, love him because he's obvious, because he's awesome. I think I put him as like my 4th favorite Mortal Kombat character of all time in my top 5 favorite Mortal Kombat characters video. Go watch that. That video might be a bit outdated now because, you know, MK11's come out. But yeah, Goro. No one feared Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 1. No one. Because most people knew you could just crouch and do crouch kicks, and Shang Tsung had literally no defense against that. He would just walk into it and die. No one feared Shang Tsung. Goro was the obstacle you had to overcome, because he was way overpowered and he could do the stomp and everything, and he was the only character that wasn't digitized actor, like he was a stop motion puppet and stuff. Everything about him was awesome. He's got 4 arms, he's been living for thousands of years, he won the Mortal Kombat tournament 9 generations in a row. Like, he is undoubtedly the greatest Mortal Kombat champion in terms of how much they kick ass in the actual tournament of Mortal Kombat. Goro is the king. And then I guess they killed him off screen in between games, who knows. But yeah, Goro's awesome. Havoc. I like him. Kinda don't care about him. I like him. I like the Realm of Order and the Realm of Chaos. AKA the Order Realm. Chaos Realm. Don't know why I said it the weird way. And I guess Havoc and Hotaru are like the representatives from those realms. And I'm curious about those realms. Like, yeah, Havoc's like missing half of his face. I want to know what other stuff he gets up to. I want to see him. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back, not gonna lie. Wouldn't mind seeing Havoc come back to Mortal Kombat. I do like him. He's an interesting concept. That's going to be a running theme, I think. There's interesting concepts. I mean, Devora was an interesting concept. I just hate fighting her, so get in the bin. Hotaru, I don't know why. I think it's the design. I just like I like his armor. I like his Fujin hair. I like his flags on his back, and the fact that he's a cop basically from the Order Realm. And the Order Realm sounds good until you realize, oh no, it is like crazy strict and like totalitarianistic. It's again, it's an interesting concept. The Chaos Realm, yeah, it's obviously a bad place, so you think the Order Realm would be good. Nah, it's still pretty bad. So I like that. Su Hao. I have to say, don't care. I don't think he needs to... do I, though? Yeah, I'm not going to say get in the bin for Su Hao, because I would like to see him come back and see what NRS do with him. I'd like to see NRS take the joke lame character in the franchise and make people go, yeah, Su Hao's badass now. Like, I want them to do that, so he needs to go there. Jackie Briggs, get in the bin, because I hate fighting her. Hated fighting her in MKX with the full auto garbage. Hated fighting her. Hate fighting her in MK11. I just don't like the way that they had 4 combat kids. It would have been better if we had more combat characters that weren't those 4. But if we must have new combat kids, and they must be these 4. Why did you leave out the 2 interesting ones and bring back the 2 that we didn't need? Like, again, I wouldn't mind them so much bringing back Cassie if they didn't also bring back Sonya and Johnny. But they did. And so we got Sonya, Johnny, and Sonya Johnny, which is what Cassie is, when we could have had Takeda and Kung Jin, who are both interesting in more interesting than Cassie and Jackie in terms of story and fighting style, in my opinion. So yeah, Cassie and Jackie, in the bin. Jade. I like Jade. I absolutely detest fighting her in MK11. Or no, I should specify. I absolutely detest fighting Emerald Defender Jade in Mortal Kombat 11. Because usually when people pick that variation, they just jump back and do the air glaives. And I'm like Baraka going, am I a joke to you? Like, I can't get close. She's really good at keeping people away, and then she makes herself absolutely immune to harm when she's at range. And it's like, so annoying. But I like Jade as a character. And she's one of the classic female ninjas, and I kind of like them. I may not like fighting against them a lot of the time, but I kind of like them. They're almost as classic as the male ninjas, and I like the male, I like the palette swap action. I like it. So Jade, yeah, I like Jade. Jarek. Had to think long and hard about that one, because he doesn't look anything like he does in MK4, which is what I think of when I think of Jarek. Jarek. Don't care. Just don't care. Simple as that. Jason, get in the bin. Or is it? No, I'm going to say don't care. Nah, Jason isn't getting the bin worthy. I didn't like fighting against him in MKX, but nah, he's not getting the bin worthy. I just don't give a fuck about him. Jax. I like Jax. Yeah, Jax is cool. I'm not a huge fan of fighting him in MK11. Didn't really mind fighting him in MKX. And of course, he's classic. Back when I was a kid, again, when MK3 came out and Jax suddenly had metal arms, because just in case you youngsters don't know, he didn't have metal arms in MK2, which was his debut. He had just regular arms. And then in MK3, metal arms. And of course, you know, we didn't read the manuals or complete arcade mode and see what was going on. So we thought that there was a rumor going around. I don't know who started it, but there was a rumor going around that how Jax lost his arms was Shang Tsung morphed into Jax and then did Jax's arm rip fatality. So then Jax had no arms. So then they replaced him with metal arms. That's not a million miles away from what actually happened in MK9, where Ermac just went, No arms. And then they were like, well, we got to fix this now. Metal arms. So yeah, Jax is fine. Johnny Cage. I like Johnny Cage. He's the funniest character in the franchise. He's not massively funny in MK11, but he's still the funniest character in it. Yeah, Johnny Cage. Nothing. I can say nothing wrong with him. The Joker, get in the bin, because you have no fucking right to be in Mortal Kombat. I don't think anyone asked for Joker. I think what happened was Ash Williams was going to be in MK11. This is a commonly known thing. Ash Williams was almost certainly going to be in MK11, and then there was like a licensing issue or some sort of dispute, and then the deal fell through. So then they were like, "Oh shit, we planned to have this character in our game, but we can't have him now. We need to just quickly get someone." Who owns us? Warner Brothers. Okay, what? Let's look through the catalog of Warner Brothers characters. Batman, he doesn't kill people, does he? Apart from all the times he does. Joker. Yeah, we can reuse some of the moves and shit from Injustice, and we can have Richard Epcar do the voice again, and then we can just quickly cobble together a quick 3D model of him to put in the trailer for Kombat Pack 1, which explains why the Joker in the game looks nothing like the Joker in that Kombat Pack 1 trailer, and why Joker in Kombat Pack 1 trailer looks clearly had nowhere near as much time put into that model as all the others in that trailer, because I believe that when the deal fell through, they just had to quickly cobble something together for the trailer, and then they had months to actually do a proper redesign and all this stuff and put him in the game. And I also hate fighting against him, on top of the fact that I think he's shit, and I don't care. So, get in the bin. Cabal, get in the bin! I hate fighting you. Hate fighting Cabal. I didn't have the displeasure of playing MK9 all that much. I played it a bit. You know, the game was already out for like 3 or 4 years by the time I picked it up. I think I had about a year on it, maybe 2, and then MKX came out. And so I gather Cabal was the most broken character in that game. That's what I gather, based on videos I've seen. But I didn't have to deal with that. But I do have to deal with him in MK11. And I don't think he's like overpowered or anything. I don't think he's top tier in MK11. I just can't deal with him. And it pisses me off. So, get in the bin. Also, how the fuck can he run so fast? Did they ever explain that? Ever explain it? In the new timeline? I don't... Well, maybe they do. Who knows? I don't care. Get in the bin. Kai, get in the bin. Nah, don't care. Because I don't have strong enough feelings for you to make you go in the bin. I just don't care about you. Kano. This is tough. Maybe I should have included another category that was just I hate this character. Because I don't... Because Kano's kind of cool, I just hate fighting him. I mean, okay, yeah. In terms of a character, I do like him. He's classic, been in there since Mortal Kombat 1. Most of the characters in Mortal Kombat 1 were like references to films and stuff, in case you didn't know. So Raiden with his hat and his electricity was a reference to the Thunder Dude in Big Trouble in Little China. Johnny Cage was meant to be Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport. He's wearing the same clothes. Liu Kang's obviously Bruce Lee, and Kano had like a Terminator vibe, you know, with the metal faceplate and the red eye and stuff like that. And of course, they made him Australian after the film came out. He's great in the film. He's probably going to be shit in the new film because he doesn't even have his trademark faceplate. And apparently, he's a good guy. I suspect he's going to betray the good guys. None of us fans are going to see that coming. Fuck that new film. But yeah, so Kano. Hate fighting against him. Hated it in MKX. Hate it in MK11. But he's a cool character. I like him. He's just a dirty bastard that doesn't give a fuck. Kenshi. I never really play as him, but I'm going to say love him. There, I said it. There. Ever since I first saw him in Deadly Alliance, I want to say. I didn't buy the 3D era games. I rented them. But I remember seeing Kenshi, and I was like, this guy looks cool. He's got a sword, and he's blind. He's telekinetic powers and whatnot. Ever since I first saw him, I thought, this guy's cool. And in MKX, he could be kind of annoying to fight against. But I think he's a cool character. I think he's cool, and that's all that matters. Chameleon with a K, I guess I like. I've never played a game with her in it, but I'm a fan of the classic ninjas, and she's the female version of the Chameleon with a C. So if I like, you know, Jade and Katana and Melina or whatever, I guess I have to like her. No, you know what? I don't care. Nope, not getting the bin. I don't care, because I've never played as her. I don't have the connection with her that I do with Chameleon with a C. So yeah, I just don't care about her. Kintaro, I'm going to say like, Not love, because he is, sorry, let me put him here. Because he is discount Goro, he just is. He's got cool tiger fur. Still discount Goro, though, isn't he? He is, in Goro's own words, a striped commoner. But I like him. Kira. Back shortly after MK11 came out, someone did this picture. I don't know who it was, but it was a picture of, like, all the female characters in MK drawn in, like, a cartoony style. And I had no clue who Kira was. I was like, okay, I can name all of these. Who the hell is that? I was like, who is this? And they went, it's Kira. And I went, who? And they were like, oh, she's in Deception. Oh. Yeah, I rented that one. Didn't play it much. So, don't care about Kira. Don't care. Right, Katana. I like her. I don't like fighting against her, but she's a cool character, I guess. She did unite the peoples of Outworld. She did unite them, and that's pretty badass. She's alright, I guess. Kai. Don't care about him. Collector. Love him. No, like him. Love's a bit strong. Yeah, he doesn't do much in the story.
I just love doing his voice. It is a good, fun voice to do. Your soul will make a fine tribute for Shao Kahn.
And doing his voice is why I actually ended up picking him up. I was like, hey, no, Panda actually gave me the idea. The Petulant Panda. Team Considerable's own Petulant Panda. He said, you should use Collector and then, like, do the voice online when you're using him. And I was like, I will. And I started using him, and I love using him. He's hella fun. I think currently, in MK11, for me, Baraka's the most fun, Collector's second. I love playing Collector. He's fun. But I don't love him, so sorry, Collector. But I didn't mean to put you up in the love section. Kotal Khan. I like him. He's cool. Don't really have anything else to say about him, though. He's alright. You know, he's not evil like Shao Kahn, and he kind of tried to fuck Earthrealm over in MKX, but he was doing what he believed was right for the safety of his people. He was being a good ruler, or at least he thought he was. His heart was in the right place, is what I'm saying. And he gets to bed Jade, so there's that. Kratos. Don't care about Kratos. Everyone's like, I haven't played the latest God of War. The only God of War I've played, I will play it, by the way. Don't worry, I will play it. But the only one I've played, in fact, I've got 1, 2, and 3. I just haven't played 2 and 3 yet. I've played 1. I didn't play them back in the day because I was like, that hack and slash. I'm just gonna hit square. That gameplay is not for me. And then I played through God of War 1 like a couple of years ago, and I was like, yeah, it's not great. It probably gets better, and I'm aware that the new God of War is very different and it's amazing. I've already bought it. I'm working through my backlog. Give me a break. Alright, Kung Jin. Like him, don't care. Like him, don't care. I'm going to say don't care, because I think he's cooler. Look, he's always going to be, in my mind, compared to the rest of the Combat kids. And I think I care about him more than Jackie and Cassie, but I actually dislike Jackie and Cassie. I don't dislike Kung Jin. I just don't really care about him. But he's got an interesting story, like, you know, he's a recovering thief and all that business. He's got a staff that is also a bow and arrow. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's better than, hi, I've got technology on my arms. Nah. Kung Lao, like. I know some people don't like Kung Lao in this new game. I actually like him. I thought he was okay in the previous games, like, personality-wise, but I like the way they made him, like, the cocky, wisecracking sidekick to Liu Kang. He's always been cocky, right? That's part of his character. But he was never, like, funny. I don't think he was funny. Well, he was dead in MKX, but I don't think he was funny in MK9. He was basically just cocky Liu Kang. So at least in this game, they give him his own personality. I think he might be the funniest outside of Johnny Cage. I mean, come on, that bit in the story when they're trying to get into the Wuxi Dragon Academy, is that it? The Wuxi Trap Dungeon, and Liu Kang's like, "Watch this!" He does that like flip, and then that look Kung Lao gives him, he's like, "Please." Blocks the trap, let's go. Like, Kung Lao's pretty cool, I like him. Leatherface, get in the fucking bin. Because unlike Jace, like, I don't care about these horror icons, right? Don't care about it. But at least I didn't detest Jason in MKX. I did with Leatherface. Didn't like him. Everything about him. I mean, it was a good representation of a character I don't give a shit about. So, but get in the bin in terms of Mortal Kombat. Li Mei, I just don't care. Just don't care. Just don't care. She's like, what's her deal? I'm the purple lady, but not that one. Like, that's her deal. I do kicks. I mean, you could be a guy that can literally turn people to ice, but I do kicks. Nah, not interested. Liu Kang, because, you know, it's Liu Kang. He's the hero of the story. He should be the main character in this new Mortal Kombat film, but he ain't. I don't think I really like fighting against him, but who cares. Movado. I know next to nothing about Movado. Because, again, you know, I never really used him in the 3D era and whatever. But he's got a cool design, he's got a cool name. So there, I like him. They could bring him back and make him awesome. That is a fact. Meat. Love. Can't really explain why. I just remember in MK4, there was a cheat where you could turn any character into meat. And it was just like them with their bloodied skeleton and stuff. And that was cool. And then in MK Armageddon, which again I never played, they made him into his own character and stuff, and it's awesome. And of course, Sub-Zero's intro, when he pulls up the skull with the spine dangling, it's got the left eyeball hanging out. And whose design has the left eyeball hanging out in all the artwork? Meat. So Sub-Zero killed Meat! Cool reference. Yeah, Meat's awesome. Mileena, I like her. I much preferred MKX Mileena, both in terms of design and voice. I don't know, it's weird. She's too childlike in this new one. Like, they tried to... I don't know, her deal has always been she's sexy, but she's also a monster, and in this game it's just she's a monster. There's no sexy in there. And I'm not like, I need sexy in my video games, but like, to me, that's a core part of her character. Like, she was so sultry and teasy in MKX. Like, when Sub-Zero would be like, hi, I'm Sub-Zero. And then Mileena would be like, come, let me warm you. Like, she was always like, hey, you stay away from me. You stay. Don't put your dick in crazy. Like, she was cool. Now in this game, she's like, I'm a little child. Nah, no thanks. But overall, I like Mileena. She's cool. Mocap. Get in the bin. Don't care about him. I was going to say get in the bin, but it is cool. It is cool that they made a character with all his own moves and everything that was just a dude in a mocap suit. And they spelled it with a K. That's cool. But I don't care about him. So there's that. Moloch, get in the bin. Because I remember fighting you in Deception, and it was painful. It was like fighting Goro in the early games, except I hated it. So yeah, Moloch, don't care. Motaro, and specifically... I'm talking actual Motaro, not bastardized Armageddon Motaro, where he's got 2 legs. Fuck off. I know why they did it, but fuck off. They should bring him back. Oh, but Harperlarp, how would they bring him back? His body would be too big. How would they throw him? They'd figure it out. If they really wanted to, they could do it. It'd be a lot of work, but they could do it, couldn't they? It's possible. Just give every character new throw animations or some shit like that. I don't know. But Motaro, the real Motaro, love, because he's awesome. When I played Mortal Kombat 3, I was like, what the fuck? This is like Goro on steroids, man. How are you supposed to beat this? And then when Trilogy came out, I was like, you can be Goro on steroids? As well as actual Goro and discount Goro? Oh my god. Oh, getting all hot thinking about playing as Motaro again. He's awesome. Nightwolf, don't care about him. Before MK11, that would have been get in the bin. Because he's the reason we didn't get Noob Saibot in MKX, and that pissed me off. So I had a vendetta against Nightwolf. And then Nightwolf came out in MK11, and he's pretty cool. I like him. You know, he's like overly aggressive with absolutely everyone, even like the people you think he would be friends with, like Earthrealmers. But I don't hate him anymore, so I just don't care about him. Right, Nitara, get in the bin. Because, look, I can deal with dragons and meat monsters and all this stuff, but no, vampires... Fuck off. There's just... I ranted about this when I streamed Resident Evil 7 VR recently, saying that I just think vampires are just... they're just inherently uncool. Maybe they were cool 50 years ago. But no, I just... no, I'm not a fan. Nah, get out, get in the bin. Get in the bin. Noob Saibot, love them. I loved him more in MK9, gotta admit. In MK11... When he came back, I was like, he's back! I wanted him in MKX and he wasn't in it, and now he's back, baby! I started using him and I was like, he's alright. He's okay. He's not, like, massively fun to play as. And I don't really use him anymore. Because I'm like, well, these days I really only use Baraka and Collector. But I was using Noob for a while. And I was like, he doesn't with the variation I was using, he didn't really offer any advantages against matchups that the other characters I used didn't already do better than. So I was like, he's okay, it's cool to see him back. But on the whole, I love Noob Saibot. He's awesome. He's fucking Bihan, for fuck's sake. Classic Sub-Zero. Onaga. He's kind of getting the bin, isn't he? He's kind of getting the bin. But he ain't that bad, so I'm just going to say, don't care about him. He did that one awesome thing, where he just took the attack from Raiden, Quan Chi, and Shang Tsung. He took it like a champ. He couldn't take the poison from Shao Kahn when Shao Kahn killed him all that time ago, and rose to become the Emperor of Outworld. He couldn't defend against the poison, but he can defend against the electricity and the soul powers of those two magicians. But yeah, Onaga, I don't know, he can't even catch Shujinko when Shujinko runs away, and Shujinko was like 100 when he did that, and Onaga was like, damn, I can't get you! So it's like, he's not very cool. So don't care. Predator. Love them, because the first Predator film is one of the greatest films ever made, and the second Predator film is awesome, and no other Predator films exist. Actually, Alien vs. Predator, the first one, I like it. It gave me what I wanted. You get to see an Alien vs. Predator 1 was okay. Alien vs. Predator 2, get in the bin. But yeah, Predator being in Mortal Kombat, love that, and I love Predator anyway. Quan Chi. I've always liked Quan Chi. I like, especially from MK9 onwards, I love his voice. His voice just seems perfect for how he looks. I love the fact that he's kind of like Shang Tsung, because he's a sorcerer, but they deal with different kind of sorcery. Like, Quan Chi doesn't really morph into other people, but then Shang Tsung doesn't really use portals quite as much as Quan Chi. I don't know, Quan Chi's cool, I like him, and I like a lot of his designs as well, he's pretty cool. And also, the Quan Chi skin for Baraka in MK11 is probably Baraka's best skin, I'm not gonna lie. Raiden, like him, because Raiden's awesome. I don't think he deserves all the hate he gets. People are like, oh, he must win. It's a bit vague. Yes, it is. It is. And it was a dumb thing to do. But if he said Shao Kahn must win, and here's why, which he didn't have time to say, then the old Raiden would have gone, okay, credits, because there's no story to tell. He'd be like, he wins. Okay, done. So yeah, and of course I don't fault Raiden for killing Liu Kang at the end of Mortal Kombat 9, because he had it coming. Liu Kang was like, I'm afraid you have gone mad, Raiden. The delusions of an addled mind. And Raiden's like, no, but for real, though, the amulet. And then he goes, if you must die, then so be it. And he attacks Raiden, and then Raiden's like, no! He's like, I mean, look, I don't want to kill you, but if you're going to try and kill me, zap! So, he didn't want to kill Liu Kang, but Liu Kang was trying to kill him in self-defense. Get off the man's back. Okay, so Rain, well, he's a classic ninja. Gotta love him. That's basically it. I was first introduced to him in Mortal Kombat Trilogy, because obviously he wasn't in 3. And I never had Ultimate 3, because that wasn't on the PlayStation. I had 3 and then Trilogy. And I was like, look, he's a purple ninja. There's another one. Because, I already knew about Smoke and Noob Saibot and Reptar, all of that stuff. But I don't think I knew about Rain until I turned on Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and I was like, what? There's a new one. And yeah, Rain's pretty cool. Rain's got to go there. Rambo. Don't care about Rambo. So there we go. That's all I need to say about that. Reiko. Don't care about Reiko. That's all I can say about that, really. Like, he was in MK4. I didn't care about him in that game. So. Reptile. Okay, he's a classic ninja. Oh, get in the bin. Nah, I'm only joking. Only joking. Like them. No, I'm only joking again. He's a classic ninja. He's got to be in the love him category. Gotta love Reptile. He is my least favorite of the male ninjas, and I joke about how much I don't like him, but I do love him. He's a classic ninja. I love him. RoboCop, love him because it's fucking RoboCop. Have you seen RoboCop? It's amazing. It still holds up as one of the legit greatest films ever. So good. RoboCop's awesome. And they did him justice in this game. Unlike Terminator, where it kind of felt like they needed to put him in, like they were told to put him in to advertise the new Terminator film that was coming out. RoboCop seemed like something they wanted to do. Like they actually bothered to get Peter Weller to do the voice. Unlike with Terminator. I don't think they got any music from him, did they? There's no music. But there's like a lot of stuff. His outros and intros, so good. Serena. I always get her mixed up with Serana from Skyrim. Don't care. Simple as that. Don't care. I don't think I ever played a game where she featured a part that made me go, I like her, and I barely remember who she is. Scorpion, classic ninja, gotta love him. I mean, look, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the reason I love Mortal Kombat, because they were what drew my eye to the first game. And I prefer Sub-Zero, and I almost never use Scorpion in the games, but I got deep respect for the Scorpion. He's like the face of the franchise and everything. Sector, love him, because he's awesome. He's just awesome. Cyrax is awesome. Sector is awesome. Both in human forms and in robot forms. You know, all Lin Kuei storyline. 2 thumbs up from your boy Harperlarp. Shang Tsung, love him. It would have been like him. But then Aftermath happened. So it's love him. Because he was... There's a George. Because he was the star of the show. Like, he really was. He was so awesome. Yeah, Shang Tsung. You gotta love Shang Tsung. Shao Kahn, again. I don't know why they chose that picture of Shao Kahn. It's one of his worst outfits. But I love Shao Kahn. He's so awesome. He's like Kotal Kahn if he didn't give a fuck. It's like... Oh man, he's so awesome. Like when he shows up in the story and he's like, get off my throne or I'll bathe the sands in your blood. And Kotal's like, you fucking what, mate? I am not a refugee or whatever he says. Shao Kahn, so good. Of course, there's classic, you suck and all that business. Classic. Shiva. And I can't stress this enough, this is only because of MK11. Get in the bin. If it wasn't for that, it would have been don't care about him. Because to me, she wasn't even discount Goro. She was I don't care to say how many discounts she was. She was like, oh, so there's Goro, but then there's this? Okay. And then, of course, in Mortal Kombat 11, she just has the most garbage, broken move in the entire game that's almost impossible to consistently defend against. And it's super easy to do. And it's really hard to try and stop. So it's like, it's a broken garbage move. If they couldn't delay it and direct it, I wouldn't have any complaints. But because they can delay it and often at the same time direct it, you're kind of fucked. So why did NRS do this? Shinnok, don't care. There, I said it. I know a lot of people like him, voiced by Troy Baker again, but I don't care. He's not very intimidating. He's not very cool. He's like, you've got Shao Kahn. Like, if that thing was coming at you, you'd be like, oh shit. Shinnok, it's like, you kind of look like I could just push you over with one finger, dude. I know you can't, but that's how he looks. This is how lame he is. They had to create an upgraded form of him to make him cool to be the final boss. He wasn't worthy of being the final boss as is in Mortal Kombat X. Shao Kahn, I don't believe, has a final form. He's just Shao Kahn. So yeah, Shinnok, don't care. But he's not quite bad enough to go get in the bin. Shujinko, get in the bin. Because he's just... I don't care about Shujinko. To the point where, like, he should... Anyone... I mean, look. The story... It was Deception, wasn't it? Conquest mode and Deception. It was a good idea. And they couldn't have really done it if they used an established character. Because, you know, it has to go through his whole life and everything. So it's cool that they had to make a new character. Just don't like him, and I don't want to see him come back. So get in the bin. Sindel. Don't care. Didn't care about her in MK3. Don't care about her now. I don't think she's getting the bin worthy. I certainly don't like fighting her. Scarlet. I like Scarlet. She's cool. Even though she's like, there must be a sexual fetish for loving blood, and if there is, she's got it. Hemophilia, maybe. She's got it. She's like, the way she delivers her lines, it's like, okay, now read this next line as if you're thinking about drinking some blood and it makes you super horny. That sounds like the direction she took. But a good character concept, I like it. A good character concept. What more can be said? Smoke, they chose a horrible picture for him, but it is love. It is love them. People like that outfit for some reason. I don't. I don't like his smoky flowing hair. I like the idea of it. They're like, what if his hair looked like smoke? Yeah, it's cool on paper. But what if he wore a mask and looked more like the other classic ninjas? I prefer that. Personally, I know I'm probably in the minority. A lot of people like that. I prefer... You know the outfit he wore in MKX? When he's like, I am a Nenra. Or like, when you did the faction kill. Remember faction kills? When you did the faction kill with the Lin Kuei, the best clan, by the way. And it was... Smoke would just turn up and then just like... And then cut off the top of their head, man. That was an awesome Smoke outfit. But Smoke, definitely in the love him class. Sonya... I'm going to say don't care, right? I was toying with putting her in Get in the Bin, because I don't like Sonya. I hate fighting her. But she is a huge classic, and I've already put Cassie in Get in the Bin. I think there's enough room in Mortal Kombat for Cassie or Sonya. I really do, but not both. And since Cassie is already Get in the Bin, I don't think I need to put Sonya in Get in the Bin. I just need to put her in I don't care. Spawn, don't care. Hugely requested character. Never cared about Spawn. Striker, Get in the Bin. Because he's trash. His story is pretty funny. I'm just a regular beat cop that got caught up in this invasion. That's funny, but... That's funny in a good way, but the fact he's able to hold his own against all these monsters and stuff, that's funny in a bad way. No, I don't like Striker. Sub-Zero, the GOAT! Get out of the way, Baraka. I'm not ordering these, like, in terms of how much I like them, from left to right. I'm just putting them in the categories, but Sub-Zero has to go first, because he's the GOAT. He's been my main since... I mean, he's not currently my main in MK11, but he has been my main in MK11. He's basically been my main since 1993, or I think that was when I played Mortal Kombat 1. So there's that. Right, Takeda. Ooh, does he go in the love him section, though? Do I like him more than Quan Chi? Yeah, I do. You know what? I do. Because if they put Takeda out in the next combat pack, I'd buy him. Because his fighting style was awesome. He was easily the best combat kid in terms of style and story. He was the son of Kenshi, raised by Scorpion. That's pretty cool. I like both of those characters. In fact, I love both of those characters. So he's cool origin, cool look. I love his armor. His armor looks cool. The whips, the fighting style. Takeda, very good. He needs to come back. Tanya, don't care. Didn't really care about her in MK4, although she had I don't remember all the fatalities in MK4, but she had one of the best ones, where she would kiss them and their body would get slowly contorted, and then they would just look at the camera and then explode for some reason. That was cool. Didn't play as her in the 3D era games, because I don't think she was in Deception, and I don't recall much of the other two. I never played Armageddon. But I did use her in MKX a little bit. Because I bought the both combat packs, so I thought, you know, I'll give Tanya a go, and I used her for a little bit. She was alright, but I didn't stick with it, so nah, I just don't care. Taven, don't care. Is that where Dagon is? Yeah. Taven, don't care. For the same reasons that Dagon's in there. Terminator. It pains me to say this, that Terminator in the Mortal Kombat games isn't a love them. It's only a like them. Only. Because it feels like they half-assed it. They didn't bother getting the music license, so they turned what would have been the best outro in the game, the one where he walks into the flames and then his skin melts off and then his robot face comes up to the screen. If it went dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, that would have been the greatest outro. But no. They didn't get the license for that song, so they made up some garbage that sounded nothing like it, and it made it, in my opinion, for that reason, in terms of how disappointing it is, and in terms of the wasted potential, the worst outro in the game. They didn't... I want to say they didn't bother getting Arnie to do the voice. There's conflicting reports. Some people are like, oh, Arnie said he doesn't want to do games like this, like all violent, gory games. Oh, is that why he lent his voice to the Predator game that came out a year or two ago? You know that shit game that you see YouTubers playing? It looks fun for about 5 minutes and then you get bored of it? Yeah, he lent his voice to that. And he lent his likeness to this. And then there's other people that say, oh, he was too busy with the film. It's like, how long does it take to record the dialogue for this game? A day? Couldn't spare a day? Do it over the phone these days. Or that he was having surgery at the time, on his throat or something, or like he was having some surgery and he just physically couldn't. I don't know. Whatever the reason, it just feels like they half-assed Terminator. So it should have been Love 'Em. It should have been, because Terminator 1 is amazing. Terminator 2, contender for the greatest film of all time, legit. And no other Terminator films exist. But that's why he only gets a like him. Tremor. Classic ninja kind of, not really, but he is. Goes in the top spot, because he's awesome. He looks awesome, he sounds awesome, his powers are awesome. In MKX, he's just awesome. I never heard of him until they announced the combat pack, and it was like, Tanya, Tremor, Predator, and whoever else it was, Leatherface or whatever. I was like, who the fuck's Tremor? Because I knew 2 were non-MK and 2 were MK. I was like, who the fuck's Tremor? Googled it, and it was like, oh, he was in Special Forces. Oh, he was like a classic ninja with the UMK3 style outfit, but he was the brown one. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, put him in the pantheon of characters I like just because he looks like a character I like. But then in MKX he was awesome. I never used him, but everything about him was just awesome. The way he looked, the way he sounded, his moves, his power, his strength, his fatalities. What were his fatalities? I'm sure they were good. Triborg, I've got to say love him. Got to say, love me a bit of Triborg, because I mean, I did kind of main Cyrax and MKX for a while, and I love what they did. They basically went, look, we've got a limited amount of slots to make DLC characters, so let's just make one character that will hopefully make fans of 4 different characters happy. You know, Sector, Cyrax, Smoke, and Cyber Sub-Zero get in the bin, and it's like that's a great concept. You know, they all share the same normals, but none of the special moves are the same. It's all different. So that was a great concept, and for that, it goes into the love him section. And Ermac, for some reason, he's last, it was alphabetical until this point. Ermac, classic ninja, gotta go in there. I've got to make sure he goes just above Reptile, though. I'm not placing these in any order, because as you can see, Smoke is clearly below Reptile. But I have to make sure Tremor is above Reptile, just to make it clear to everyone that Reptile is my least favorite of the male ninjas. Yep, Ermac's cool. Great concept, 10,000 souls. I was so sure, because they were talking about how Ermac's body was deteriorating in MKX. Like it was, the magics that were holding it together were sort of failing, and the body was just decomposing and falling apart, and the souls were starting to escape. That's why in like one of his outros he goes like all these souls escape, because he can't contain him anymore. And I was like, I know what they're building up to, mate. They're building up to the body just completely deteriorating, all the souls coming back, being released, including Shang Tsung's, and that's how Shang Tsung is going to come back. But no, Shang Tsung came back because, I don't know, time travel or something. And then Ermac was just nowhere to be seen, except when he was seen, when they put him in the crypt and went, look, he's redesigned. That's it. Just redesigned for no reason. Just wanted to make you think he was going to be in the game, but he won't. Like, okay, that's weird. So I'm sure he's going to be DLC at some point. So yeah, Ermac's pretty cool. Never really used him much in Mortal Kombat Trilogy, but I liked him because he was one of the palette swap ninjas. And that's that then, I think. Yeah, that's that. Sub-Zero the GOAT. This video's gone long enough, so I'm going to say peace. And this list is completely correct, Grease.